make sure that we have... There we go. Mystic Fairy Freya with a Demon Bell. Now, when it comes to speed, I don't know if we're going to be faster than this wave, so I'm actually going to build us really defensively. I'm going to assume that we're not fast enough. Let's try this. If it doesn't work, back to the drawing board. Put these guys in. And we're going to want... Let's start with Snake. See if anything changes. Here we go. Didn't even put him in an order where Halora was at the front. So we're too slow here. We've been doved. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so there's our issue. Jara got doved. And then she gets silenced. So if we put some control immunity on Jara, we should be absolutely fine. Actually, we want control immunity on the whole team. Damage reduction, control immunity, holy damage on everybody. Okay, another thing I want to try. How fast can we make this Fairy Queen better? Speed attack, 2377. Gorgeous. What can we do with the Sword Flash? Can she do the same? Speed attack, 2303. If we bump this up, how high can we go? Because if we can get them faster than the wave, that's really exciting. So we'll just see if that's enough. I mean, 2417 is massive. So hopefully that's going to be enough speed. If it isn't, well, rip. Let's go see what happens then. And this time I'm going to remember to activate the core on Jara, which makes a significant difference. We're going to put Halora at the front. And let's put Asmo slot 2. See what the team will do. Here we go.
As a tech founder, you start scrappy. You have to, and I live that. Pull 2 on-headers in a weekend to launch Cody decks and make sure it was live. I thought of Azure as what only the huge enterprises use, but I learned that its power and resources were amazing for a startup like ours. Teaching the next generation of technologists is why I started Cody decks. There are lots of videos on the platform featuring our team, but they take forever to make, and it's impossible to keep them up to date with curriculum changes. Now, in less than 24 hours, I can build an AI avatar in our courses for the visual learners and update them dynamically as needed. Because Azure gives my team all the tools they need in one place, tools like Azure AI, compute, storage, we save time on building, which means we get an extra week to gather user feedback and refine from there.
And that's just a fraction of what we do with Azure. We can do a lot for tech startups like yours too.
Sign up for a 30-day free trial today and let me know what you're building in the comments.
Okay, there you go. Vesa is already quicker. That's nice. Giving us shields there, which is strong. We get extra armor as well from Vesa's active skill. Sword Flash comes in too. Fab. Okay, now the Holmeses are going to join in. Asmo died, but oh, big CC there from the Jara. Fantastic. Oh, then she gets doved. That's annoying. Okay, I think Vesa will get an active here, hopefully. Come on. Come on. Oh, Sword Flash goes. There's Snake. And then we mostly die. God, these guys are annoying. Right. New option. Ithaqua's Imprints. Removed. And then we're going to go ahead and upgrade Elena. Now, granted, Elena does not have any sublimation, which could be a bit weird, but she's a pretty solid hero nonetheless. And we give her like a golden crown or something to stay alive. And hopefully her passive alone will break us free from CC, and we'll have a much higher chance of winning. Just gotta hope that works out. So, she's got gear. We're gonna go with Golden Crown, Water Protection. The hero we're not gonna use here is probably Asmodel. So we're gonna give Asmodel a flag. That's quite nice. Elena goes in. And this would be quite fun for those of you asking if you should run Asmodel or Elena, because that's one of the choices people often get to when they get to 6th Trend Sentence Heroes, is which they pick. So this might sway you a little bit. I'm hating Jara's HP right now. She needs healing. There's the active. We CC'd both Holmes Youngs. Oh, it's really big. Oh, it's fantastic. That's really, really strong. Oh, CC the backline again? Hello. Oh, damage over time killed us. So, a little trick we can do with Elena now is we can actually run damage over time purify on our heroes. And there's a chance that Elena will let us break free from crowd control. And then the damage over time is everything else. So, it's pretty fun. Damage over time purify, and then we'll see what happens here. Hopefully a different result. Let's see what happens. Skill, already getting a CC on the ticks. That's very good. Hate Jara's health right now, but it happens. Just gotta learn to deal with it. Don't die, Jara. She's been hit a few times. There's the active. Oh, full backline CC. Let's go, Jara. Oh, and then she died. That's unfortunate. Then again, that might just be enough to win. Could genuinely be enough to win. Freya's got an active coming up as well, which is quite helpful. Oh my word, that Tix is about to die. Ah, Elena getting dubbed is a problem. She needs control purify. She really needs control purify. I don't know if it's Elena doing the heavy lifting or damage over time purify doing the heavy lifting. Because we're about to clear this. 100%.
After this is over, I'm gonna need a real long shower. I got years worth of blood caked in
I say that. I say that. Oh! Home Young! Right, okay, there you go. Control immunity on the Elena, and we win. I'm going to slow the Jara down, or speed the others up so they're faster than Jara, just so that her round 1 active skill can destroy the enemy team. Provided she lives, that will help. Come on, Freya. Don't die. There we go. Active from Jara. Then Freya. What the? Why is Freya going after Jara? What the nonsense was that? And why the heck was Freya slower? I'm really confuddled. 2-1-6-5. Jara 2-1-1-2. What? What? Yeah, it could have been Holmes' slow. But doesn't that slow everybody? Depends on where the potions land. No, the speed potion affects everybody. And the guy didn't even do an active. There was no speed debuff out there. What are we missing? Unless the speed on Jar is wrong. Like it's just being displayed wrong. If someone knows what's happening here, let me know in the comment section. Because I am genuinely puzzled by this. And I find it quite humbling. Right, Jara, good CC here. As long as she keeps that up, we should be absolutely fine. We might even kill a Sherlock here. Like, we seem in a really good position. Oh, we absolutely do. Oh my god, double kill from Sword Flash. We've still got Jara alive. Even more CC. Those Holmeses haven't moved. There's the snake. Jara's dead, but it might not matter. Holmeses just could fall here. Elena's still alive. That's big. Oh, that's so big. Yes. Come on. Oh, come on. Come on, Vesa. Come on. Come on. We just...
Who on Team Toyota is most likely to trash talk over the radio?
Bubba.
Me. Yeah, got a common answer. I've heard stuff.
Need an active from Vesa. Oh, no! 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 Oh! That was close, man. And it seems no matter what we did to Freya's speed, even like bumping it up even higher, they still did exactly the same thing. Oh, that's really good active skill there from Swordback. That Tix is super low. Jara CC. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Could even take down that Tix at the back there if we're lucky. Oh, he's so close to being dead. Tix did get an active. That's annoying. That's going to be some attack still we have to deal with. Jara could get an active of her own if we're lucky. Yep. Big CC. Amazing. Shields are really high on our heroes now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. Jara with another one. Let's go. Oh, that was great from Sword Flash. Oh, we could kill one of the Holmeses. Yes! One Holmes is dead. This has to be a win. Surely. Surely now. Our whole team's still alive. Yes! Come on. Absolutely clean up time. Yep. Vesa's got an active. Single target. That's just dead. Ha ha ha! Let's go! Oh, screw you, game, with your buggy speed nonsense, and eat that. War Hoodie, go ahead and enjoy some new Void campaign progress. With that wave cleared, go and have fun. Giant Killer Vesa, Giant Killer Swordflash. What a crazy account. So much stuff hoarded up. Still so much room to progress. Today was just a little insight into what this guy's been up to. It's
Epstein in Israel explained.
Who was Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, obviously we all know who he was. He was a predator responsible for the abuse of thousands of victims.
Is that an edited image?
All while being a top-level New York financier who handled billions of dollars for his clients. But like,
Yeah, I don't actually, like, what the did he do? How did he get rich? Like, I don't know. I know the Conan O'Brien podcast where the guy actually, he didn't know him. He's like, oh, he didn't know what happened. He's like, oh, the New York financier. But like, what does that even mean? He manipulated money markets. Like, I know he was like an investment guy. But like, how did he make billions of dollars? Like, how did he get that rich? Yeah, somebody said he was a spy. John Kirikow said he was an Israeli spy. So maybe that goes into this.
well, if you mainly get your information from mainstream American news sources, then yeah, you could easily be forgiven for thinking that's all there is to his story. After all, that's basically been the entire focus of the reporting on Jeffrey Epstein. But once you step even slightly outside of the US media bubble, you begin to realize that
Dude, I asked you guys this the other day. I was like, for my European viewers, is like he a headline in the news right now? Like, are the Epstein files of Jeffrey Epstein talked about elsewhere? Just because I know it's like, not primarily, I know it's a big thing with his involvement in other foreign leaders. I'm assuming that's what it's around. Like, the focus in the United States is Trump and Epstein, Bill Clinton and Epstein, and like people that are U.S. citizens that were involved. Whereas I think elsewhere it's like, who was the king? Or somebody that was in Parliament that was involved. Not Charles, Andrew, Prince Andrew.
it's not necessarily an entirely accurate retelling of events, because there was a whole second side of this guy's life, miles away from Wall Street. One where he was brokering surveillance contracts, assisting...
Also, I recently, sorry I keep pausing, it's because we've never talked about, like, in depth, you know, this on stream. I did not hear his voice until, like, 2 weeks ago on a TikTok, like, edit. Or not an edit, but it was, like, a clip. Like, I had never heard him speak.
where he was brokering surveillance contracts, assisting high-profile defense politicians across the planet, and even potentially acting as foreign intelligence. The idea that Jeffrey Epstein was an agent of foreign intelligence was considered at one point to be a relatively fringe conspiracy theory, but with the recent release of documents relating to his case, as well as a number of high-profile hacking campaigns by activist groups, this theory has kind of been revived, and you can even see it being discussed on many major news networks, mainly outside of the US. And so I wanted to gather the best of what we know in one place, break down some of these new bombshell revelations for you, and earnestly try to answer the question, was Epstein a spy?
Yo, I'm a huge advocate for, like, fact-checking everything yourself, but John Kiriakou, the CIA guy, I watched, like, a 5-minute clip of him explain why he truly believed Jeffrey Epstein was an Israeli spy, and, like, it made so much sense. Like, it made so much sense. Like, like, him getting blackmail on every single person in power, and him being, like, a liaison, in a sense, because obviously you're not going to be able to just, as Israel or another country, for whatever country he would be a spy for, just gain access to, like, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, you know, rich guys, Jeff Bezos, whoever you're talking about. But, like, if you know a guy that knows them, then you're able to.
So I think it's worth running through the Epstein timeline, because it can be so
Do you think he's alive? No.
easy to get lost around what
The circumstances around his death are weird. You would have to watch a whole nother video about that. But I don't know. I mean, he was also, he was so old, it would make, okay, I would say yes if he was, like, in his 30s when he died. Because it was, like, I could see a world where he would try to, like, get past it and then, like, you know, live in, like, Argentina or fucking do some shit like the Nazis did. Right? But, like, he was already, didn't he die when he was, like, 70? He would be in his 70s now.
who exactly was involved. And having a consistent timeline will make this story so much easier to understand. And I think the best place to start is in 2005. One day, a 14-year-old student comes home and tells her parents that a man had paid her $300 for a massage that had ended with this girl being abused. Her parents immediately rush to the police in West Palm Beach, Florida, and file a complaint alleging that this man, Jeffrey Epstein, had molested their daughter. The daughter explains that she'd been recruited by a friend of hers.
I'm gonna say 1953. Was that his birth date?
And all of a sudden, this case
He would be like 73 right now.
blows up. The detective in charge ends up finding dozens of underage victims. The FBI steps in to take over from local police and subsequently launches Operation Leap Year, designed to investigate the federal sex trafficking and transport of minors across state lines. The feds end up compiling a 56-page draft indictment detailing 32 counts against Jeffrey Epstein and his employees for a conspiracy to procure females under the age of 18. In this draft, they even mentioned that they found 11 victims from a single school in Florida. The FBI and DOJ had everything they needed at this point to begin dismantling this national sex trafficking network. And yet, they didn't. This is
Then why didn't he didn't get convicted until like what, like 2015 or something? This was 10 years prior.
where stuff starts to get a little bit weird, okay? Not long after this draft indictment was written, the top prosecutor in charge of the case, a man by the name of Alex decided
He got convicted twice. I knew he died in 2019, but I'm saying he got convicted before then.
to not sign off on it and pursue all of those charges. Instead, he offers Epstein something a little bit different. If he pleads guilty, then instead of being indicted for the 32 counts, he'll only face 2 state charges. And for those crimes, he'll spend just 18 months in jail, which was later reduced to 13 months. All of his co-conspirators would be granted immunity for life from any further federal investigation, and the federal probe against his network would, in effect, come to a dead stop.
See, like, that is such a lighter deal. Like, it's not, like, plea deals in general are always usually better than what they're shooting for. But this is, like, life in prison reduced to, like, and then eternal immunity.
In effect, come to a dead stop. Epstein will also be allowed to leave prison for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, to continue his work from his private home office. Pretty nice deal.
He's not even in prison then. You gotta leave. Bro, you're asleep. So he just sleeps in jail. So he has to. What? So he left. So he would leave, be able to do whatever he wanted for 12 hours, and then come back and then spend like the evening / the night.
All things considered. And so obviously he agrees. At this point in the story, you might think that the feds would keep a pretty close eye on this dude. Maybe take his.
I don't want to immediately be like, oh, he's a spy, but like, part of me also just goes, he's a billionaire, you know? Like, though, in general, like, being that fucking rich gets you out of here. The only thing is, like, there's certain guys that, like, Sam Bankman-Fried did it. Sam Bankman-Fried, side note, not for sex crimes, but for, like, actual, just, like, full-on fraud, white-collar crime. Isn't he in jail? Sam Bankman-Fried, for those of you that don't know, is the guy who started what crypto website? What was it called? They ran Super Bowl ads in, like, 22, FTX. Yeah, FTX, and they lost, like, everyone's money. And he pocketed, like, all of it.
Passport away, or at least ask that he stay in West Palm Beach while the case concludes. But no, a couple of months before he's due to officially put in his guilty plea, Jeffrey instead decides to fly to Israel to take a...
You sell on your website, Amazon, and beyond. We ship your orders. Powered by Amazon.
tour of a newly constructed Israeli military base, according to Jeffrey Epstein's own PR representative.
Very odd, out of nowhere. Why are we doing that?
This is something that none of the major outlets that
Bigger fish to fry, you know, outside being like, oh yeah, kind of dealing with this whole guilty plea. Let me go fly to Israel.
reported on the conviction even mentioned. And I had to piece this together from a clip of local TV in West Palm Beach and a snippet from a Page 6 article on the matter. But it definitely happened. Okay, so already things are getting pretty sus, if I'm honest. But we're yet to have anything close to a smoking gun. And if that was all the evidence we had, then I would say that it's pretty reasonable to doubt the idea that Epstein belonged to any kind of foreign intelligence. Unfortunately, there is a lot.
You're making it look real sus right now? I'm not making it real sus right now. It's just like, why if he's about to serve a prison sentence, why is he flying to like Tel Aviv or stuff? Like, why is he going to Israel? Like, what is the purpose in doing that?
more to this story. And I think what's far more
See a military base, he's not involved in the government.
noteworthy from this period is not
And why do they want to show him? I don't.
whatever Epstein was up to in Israel, but instead what was happening in the US back in West Palm Beach, Florida. So the obvious question at this point is like, well, why did Epstein get such a cushy deal? Especially when the feds had so much info on his network and when Florida is already known for having some of the harshest criminal penalties in the entire United States. Well, remember the guy that gave Epstein that deal in the first place? If we fast
Not even a clip of prison. I feel like that looks just like military recruits.
forward about a decade from the Epstein case, Alex Acosta had moved up a lot in the world and was in the process of being confirmed as Donald Trump's Secretary of Labor, a role that would have him overseeing legislation that affects well over 100 million workers across the US. As part of this process, candidates usually have to go through some pretty thorough interviews, and allegedly, when asked about Epstein's famous sweetheart deal, Acosta explained his decision to let Epstein off so easily by saying, "I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone." This is a
Bro, it had to. Like, it was. And that's such a vague answer. Belong to intelligence. What does that mean?
according to the reporting of Vicky Ward, the journalist at the Daily Beast who cited an anonymous senior White House official. Around the time of Acosta's confirmation as Labor Secretary, Epstein was still a free man, and this
And would that mean, if he belonged to intelligence, would that mean that he was a spy for the U.S.? That's very confusing, because if the U.S. government's telling them to back off.
could very well have been the end of the Epstein story. Clearly, the government wasn't interested in pursuing him any further, but journalists were thankfully working overtime to expose.
He's watching the stream. The one thing, okay, see, a lot of people cite his fucking Fortnite account being active years after his death as him being alive, and I'm like, bro, like, not EA, Epic Games accounts can get hacked, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say that you can't just go off that. You can't just be like, well, his Fortnite account had some games played during the fucking OG season. All right, right? That's not enough for you to be like, he's alive. It wasn't even his account. I'm pretty sure they said it. See, that's what I'm saying too. It's like all the info that we've been being given, I feel like a lot of it is true. A lot of it's just flat out false. And then some of it's like vaguely true, but like twisted in a weak way where the narrative's not actually what it was. Like, I don't know what's real and what's not that I've seen. And people always do say, like, oh, how convenient this is coming out during the age of AI where you could literally fake anything.
Miami Herald published a viral series of high-profile exposés on Epstein in 2018. Prosecutors in New York were forced to reopen investigations into him, which led to his eventual arrest and subsequent death in custody. That arrest revived scrutiny not just on Epstein, but also on Alex Acosta, the man who'd given him that deal in the first place. And ultimately, Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska sent a letter to the
Wow, that guy looks just like a skinnier JD Vance. Holy.
Ben Sasse of
That's like uncanny, right? That guy looks just like JD Vance.
Nebraska sent a letter to the Justice Department, formally asking that they review why Acosta had given Epstein such a nice deal back in 2008. Now, at this point, you might be able...
You're tweaking? His eyes were closer. I'm just saying, like, the hairstyle, clothing, shoe color choice.
When you ask the U.S. government to investigate
Clones? I'm not getting into that conspiracy theory. I'm not getting into the Jim Carrey, bro, he got fucking work done. You know, like, the whole Hollywood, see, there's like a line that I draw, and that line is like Britney Spears being a clone. You know, I can lean into this Epstein being a spy, right? Because that's like not that outlandish. But like, to say that like they killed Jim Carrey and then a spy, not a spy, a clone of him replaced him to go accept an award, like what the fuck are we doing? Like if they were able to do cloning in that sense, it would be so unrecognizably different, right? Like if there was a clone of someone, it wouldn't look that different, right? It would just look, you wouldn't even be questioning it
itself. You'll be shocked I tell you, to find out that in their report, they ruled that nothing untoward had happened and that Epstein was only given his sweetheart.
Do you believe in clones, though? Well, cloning is real. Like, there's a famous guy that cloned his dog. They don't do it with humans, at least in the U.S. But there's people that clone their pets. In sheep. Sheep is what they tested it on, but I know there's like a famous guy that cloned. Yeah, Tom Brady cloned his dog. Like his dead dog is not alive, but the DNA, it's like he has the same genetically similar dog, or genetically the same. I feel like that would make me more upset. Would you want to clone your dog? No. When Daisy dies, I don't want to clone her. I feel like if I had a duplicate of my own dog, that would make me more upset. Because I'd be like, I see Daisy, but this isn't Daisy. Like that'd be fucking weird. Especially in a human sense. Like imagine like, say your kid dies when he's like 5, and you clone it. And then, you know, he grows up. You're like, okay, you're genetically the same person, but consciously, you're not. Like, you're not the same person. Yeah, the body's the same, but the individual inside the perceiver isn't. So it's like, it's not, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to judge somebody that clones their dog. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, that's terribly immoral. Right? Because it's not like you're ruining, like, you're just taking the DNA, putting it in the egg of, you know, another terrier for the next dog. But I wouldn't want that. And it's also like, you're telling me you wouldn't want to have another experience? Like, I'm not trying to bag on Daisy. I think Daisy's the best dog that I will ever have. But when she dies, I don't want to have the same dog for fucking forever, unless it's her. Like, if there was like an immortal serum, I know there's like experimental shit about like lengthening dogs' lives. Like, there's some stuff scientists are working on where it's like you might be able to have your dog live longer and age slower. But outside of that, like I wouldn't want the same dog over and over and over and over and over again. Taxidermy? That's weird. Nope. 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 Don't taxidermy your dog, bro. Fuck. Oh. Yeah. Oh, sorry, my dog died. Skin it. Skin it. No.
And I quote, poor judgment on the part of the lead prosecutor, Alex Acosta. Nothing to see here. Well, except one thing. Let me show you, okay? Okay, so what you're looking at here is the...
Skin it, question mark. That's what they do. They skin... If you taxidermy your pet, they're going to skin your dead dog and then stuff it.
Department of Justice's report into Alex...
And then you walk by it, and it's just like...
Yes. It's me again. It's the...
Like, that ain't your dog, bro. Like, that's just like... It's just its skin, bro. This is like some Ed Gein shit. I think taxidermying, like, hunted animals is so different for, like, a trophy perspective. But, like, your pet is a way different ballgame, you know? Like, if you, like, kill a buck and then eat it and you just chop its head off and taxidermy it, that's different.
Acosta. If we go all the way to page...
Sorry, we got a lock back in.
Page 330.
I don't even know how we got on taxidermy.
Now 348. Let me bring your attention to this line down.
Oh, cloning with Jim Carrey. Okay, yeah, we went Jeff Epstein, Israeli spy, to Jim Carrey clone, to cloning an animal, to cloning a human, to taxidermying an animal. Okay, now we're back.
Here. After reviewing the emails, OPR identified a data gap in Acosta's email records. His inbox contained no emails from May 2007 through to November 2008. This is like pretty huge. Effectively, they're saying that for the exact time period where Jeffrey Epstein negotiated the sweetheart deal, they couldn't find a single inbound email between the lead prosecutor in charge of the case and Jeffrey Epstein's legal team or anyone else. This is the only time period that had missing...
What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm stupid.
...emails. If you continue reading it, they actually blame it on some kind of server migration problem, and I'll let you decide whether or not you believe that, you know? Maybe the servers really were down. Maybe my dog really ate my homework. Who knows? But what it does speak to is the fact that the official narrative seems to crumble as soon as it faces like the slightest bit of scrutiny, and something as important as a year of missing emails was seen as being so unimportant to the Department of Justice that they stuffed this note into the very end of a 300+ page report. However, nothing of what I've presented so far...
Dude, one of the biggest things that made me realize, like, most people in the government just don't fucking check anything is that the majority of the bills that are passed are, like, huge fucking lumps of shit. And if you're, like, a senator or, like, somebody with power in Congress, you could and you're, like, making the bill, you could kind of just, like, sneak a paragraph in that says something, and they're not going to read it. They go over the big bullet points. The rest of it, they'll just pass. And so like, sometimes that could be used for good, where, like, they wanted, in John Kiriaku's sense, they wanted to make it so, like, he could get his money back through his lawyer fees, and they wanted to add something like that, where it's like he got fucked over by the government, so then somebody in the government was trying to help him out. But conversely, like, people could just do that to kind of, like, skew the system in their favor. Not in an extreme sense. Like, if you put in something that was like, the government will give me $1 billion, like, that's not gonna fly. But smaller stuff that has to do with the bill's proposition
still is, you know, cut and dry evidence. And for a long time, that was the reason why even I didn't necessarily entirely buy this idea that...
What's going on with the rug on your face? Growing a beard for a charity stream, big dog. Wow, ooh, bit of a dickhead you are.
Epstein was working for a foreign government. There was a lot of suspicious evidence, but also stuff that was just a bit too circumstantial to be properly convincing. The Alex Acosta quote about Epstein belonging to intelligence came from a single anonymous source. Epstein's association with Ghislaine Maxwell was also pretty suspicious, given that her dad was so loved by the Israeli intelligence corps that 6 of Israel's spy chiefs attended his funeral. And obviously Epstein's flight patterns in and around his first case were also pretty suspicious. But honestly, the US judicial system has a long history of letting people off lightly because they're well connected, and they don't necessarily have to be spies. Things have changed a lot in the last year, however.
I think that's just a problem within any government. Like, corruption and favoring towards those that have connections and power exists in any system. Like, it's a problem within the US, but it's also a problem in Russia and in China and North Korea, obviously. Japan. Nepal is just now fixing their government corruption issues, and they're obviously, you know, going through a huge regime change within their own government. You don't know what's going on in Nepal. But stuff like that happens everywhere. Now it's extreme because it's like, this is a big deal, and this is a guy that's looped in multiple people in power from other countries.
We've now received a whole load of new information on the matter, and it's fair to say that we suddenly
versus like one guy that's just been given like a nepotism hand.
Have a lot more insight on who Jeffrey Epstein really was. If you're in the US, it might feel like the release of the Epstein files hasn't really changed anything. After all, despite Pam Bondi claiming that they've released...
Bro, these fucking clips that I see, bro, with Pam Bondi or